The exploration vessel glided silently through the star-speckled darkness of the Orion Arm, its quantum displacement drive humming with near-perfect efficiency. Captain Lyra Voss stood at the central observation deck, her six-fingered hand resting lightly on the holographic navigation interface. Around her, the bridge of the Starlight Seeker buzzed with the quiet efficiency of a seasoned exploration team. "Scanning Sector 7 Delta 9, announced Senior Science Officer Krell, his translucent skin shifting through subtle color patterns that reflected his concentration. "Preliminary long-range sensors are picking up an unusual energy signature." Lyra leaned forward, her multifaceted eyes narrowing. In her decades of galactic exploration, she had learned that unusual often meant unexpected, and unexpected could mean anything from a simple astronomical anomaly to a complete paradigm shift in their understanding of the universe. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a star system that defied initial expectations. At its center burned a yellow-white star, unremarkable in most respects. But the third planet, a swirling blue and green orb, immediately caught everyone's attention. Standard preliminary scans suggested conditions that should have been utterly inhospitable to advanced life. "Atmospheric composition is chaotic," Krell continued, his voice a mixture of scientific curiosity and confusion. "Multiple toxic gas concentrations, extreme temperature variations, geological instability, radiation levels that should preclude complex organic development." Yet there it was, a planet teeming with life. Not just simple microbial existence, but complex technological civilization. The communication systems crackled to life with a burst of encoded transmissions. Unlike the carefully structured, mathematically precise communication protocols of most advanced civilizations, these signals were wonderfully chaotic. They carried multiple frequencies, overlapping communications, seemingly random bursts of information that nonetheless suggested an intricate, dynamic communication network. "Filter and analyze," Lyra commanded, her curiosity piqued. The ship's advanced translation matrices worked overtime, parsing through layers of linguistic complexity. What emerged was nothing short of extraordinary. These beings, humans, they called themselves, communicated through an incredible diversity of languages, cultural contexts, and communication methods. Their transmissions carried everything from scientific research to artistic expression, from global news to personal communications. More intriguingly, the signals revealed a civilization in constant motion. They were exploring their own planetary system, sending robotic probes to distant moons and planets. They were wrestling with complex global challenges, developing technologies to address environmental concerns, and simultaneously engaging in creative and scientific pursuits that seemed to defy conventional developmental models. "They shouldn't exist," Krell muttered, his scientific worldview being challenged in real time. By all standard predictive models, this planet should have prevented the development of any advanced civilization. Lyra watched the incoming data with growing fascination. The humans had developed multiple layers of technological infrastructure that seemed to work in direct opposition to their challenging environmental conditions. Communication networks that bridged vast geographical distances, energy systems that attempted to work in harmony with their planet's ecological systems, medical technologies that continuously pushed the boundaries of biological understanding. "Prepare a comprehensive initial report," she instructed. "But do not approach. We need to understand more." The preliminary data suggested a species that had not just survived their challenging environment, but had transformed it. They had developed technologies that compensated for biological limitations. They had created social structures that enabled collective problem-solving. Most remarkably, they seemed to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and innovation. Senior communications specialist Nara pulled up a series of visual transmissions, what the humans called videos, and images. They revealed a species of remarkable diversity, showing individuals and groups solving problems, creating art, exploring scientific frontiers, and supporting one another through challenging circumstances. "This is unprecedented," Nara whispered, her normally stoic demeanor giving way to genuine wonder. Lyra nodded slowly. The Galactic Exploration Consortium had encountered thousands of civilizations across multiple galaxies. But this was something entirely different. Humans represented a fundamental challenge to everything they understood about evolutionary development, technological progression, and the potential of sentient life. "Continue detailed observation," she said finally, "but be prepared for anything." Dr. Xadel's research laboratory hummed with sophisticated equipment, holographic displays, dancing with complex biological data streams. The human medical and physiological records challenged everything the xenobiological team thought they understood about sentient life. Most advanced galactic species had long since augmented their biology through technological interventions. Genetic modifications, cybernetic enhancements, and cellular regeneration were standard practices across known civilizations. Humans, by contrast, appeared to be biological miracles that evolved extraordinary capabilities through natural adaptation. The first shocking revelation came from their immune system, where most species required extensive medical interventions to combat pathogens. Human bodies demonstrated an almost sentient ability to recognize, combat, and remember threats. Their white blood cells didn't just neutralize invaders. They created sophisticated memory mechanisms that allowed rapid response to future encounters. "Look at this cellular response," Dr. Xettel called to the research team, manipulating a three-dimensional holographic representation of human cellular interactions. Their immune system doesn't just defend. It learns, adapts, and becomes more efficient with each challenge. The physiological data revealed multiple layers of biological complexity. Humans could survive in temperature ranges that would destroy most known species. Their cardiovascular system could adapt to extreme altitude changes. Their nervous system demonstrated neuroplasticity that went far beyond standard evolutionary models. Most intriguing was their pain response. Where most advanced species had developed technological methods to suppress pain, humans seemed to use pain as a complex information system. Their bodies didn't just react to damage. They created intricate healing mechanisms that could repair and strengthen tissue through a process the researchers could barely comprehend. Genetic analysis showed something even more remarkable. Human DNA contained multiple redundant systems and adaptive mechanisms that seemed to activate under stress. Exposure to challenging environments didn't just trigger survival responses. It actually modified genetic expression in real time. It's as if their entire biological system is designed to transform challenges into opportunities for growth, noted Dr. Laura, the team's comparative physiologist. Her tentacle-like appendages manipulated complex data streams, highlighting sections of genetic code that seemed to defy conventional understanding. The medical research team discovered humans possessed an extraordinary capacity for physical and mental adaptation. Athletes could modify their body's performance through training. Individuals exposed to psychological stress could develop enhanced cognitive resilience. Their brains didn't just process information. They continuously reconstructed neural pathways to optimize performance. Comparative studies with other galactic species revealed stark differences. Most advanced civilizations had reached a biological plateau, using technology to overcome limitations. Humans, by contrast, seem to view biological limitations as challenges to be overcome through internal adaptation. Their reproductive system presented another marvel. Unlike many species with controlled breeding mechanisms, humans demonstrated remarkable genetic diversity. Their sexual reproduction model created unprecedented combinations of genetic traits, allowing rapid evolutionary potential. Most shocking was their capacity for healing. Wounds that would require extensive medical intervention for other species could be addressed through the human body's internal mechanisms. Their stem cell research suggested capabilities that most galactic medical systems had spent millennia trying to develop. They don't just survive, Dr. Xadel summarized in a preliminary report. They transform. The research extended beyond physical capabilities. Psychological resilience appeared equally extraordinary. Humans could endure psychological challenges that would completely destabilize most known sentient species. Their capacity for hope, creativity, and collective problem-solving seemed deeply integrated into their biological architecture. Environmental adaptation studies revealed additional surprises. Humans had populations thriving in environments ranging from Arctic regions to desert landscapes. Their metabolic systems could adjust nutrient processing based on available resources. Where most species required specific environmental conditions, humans seemed to create their own adaptive strategies. Nutritional research showed another fascinating trait. Unlike many species with highly specialized dietary requirements, humans could derive nutrition from an incredibly diverse range of sources. Their digestive systems were not just efficient, they were remarkably flexible. As the research continued, Dr. Xetl realized they were observing something unprecedented. Humans were not just another species to be categorized and studied. They represented a living model of biological potential that challenged fundamental scientific understanding. We are not just looking at a species, Dr. Xetl noted in the final research log. We are witnessing a dynamic biological system that redefines what is possible. The cultural archives recovered from human transmissions presented a puzzle more complex than any biological or technological dataset. Senior anthropological researcher Zura Venn found herself immersed in a tapestry of human experience that defied every established model of societal development. Most galactic civilizations followed predictable patterns of cultural evolution. They typically reached a point of technological stability, developed standardized social structures, and gradually reduced internal conflicts. Humans, by contrast, seem to thrive on complexity, transformation, and continuous reinvention. Their historical records told a story of persistent hope in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. Zara watched documented accounts of human societies rebuilding after devastating natural disasters, economic collapses, and global conflicts. Where other species might have fragmented or surrendered, humans displayed an extraordinary capacity for collective resilience. One remarkable case study emerged from a series of environmental documentaries. In regions experiencing extreme climate challenges, human communities developed innovative solutions that integrated technological creativity with deep cultural adaptation. Coastal populations developed floating cities. Desert communities created revolutionary water conservation technologies. Mountain societies built sustainable agricultural systems that worked in harmony with challenging terrain. The research team discovered that human culture was not a static system, but a dynamic, evolving network of ideas, stories, and collective experiences. Their artistic expressions revealed a profound ability to process complex emotions, transform trauma into creativity, and find meaning through shared narratives. Musical archives particularly fascinated the researchers. Unlike the mathematically precise musical forms of most galactic civilizations, human music was an emotional language. It could communicate complex psychological states, bridge cultural divides, and create collective experiences that transcended verbal communication. They use creativity as a survival mechanism, noted Dr. Krull, reviewing a compilation of human art, music, and storytelling, not just as entertainment, but as a method of processing complexity and maintaining psychological resilience. Educational systems presented another point of fascination. Where most advanced civilizations had developed standardized, technology-driven learning protocols, humans maintained an approach that celebrated individual creativity and diverse learning styles. Their educational philosophies emphasized adaptability, critical thinking, and collaborative problem-solving. The research team discovered numerous instances of human communities transforming challenges into opportunities for collective growth. In regions experiencing economic hardship, local groups would develop cooperative economic models. Areas with limited resources would create innovative sharing economies. Communities facing social challenges would develop intricate support networks. Language itself demonstrated remarkable flexibility. Human communication was not just about information transfer, but about building connections, sharing experiences, and creating shared understanding. Their linguistic systems could adapt, incorporate new concepts, and evolve rapidly in response to technological and social changes. Scientific and philosophical transmissions revealed a cultural approach that celebrated uncertainty. Unlike many galactic civilizations that sought absolute knowledge, humans seemed to find excitement in the process of discovery itself. Their scientific method was not just a research protocol, but a cultural philosophy of continuous learning. Most intriguing was their approach to diversity. Where many advanced civilizations had developed homogeneous cultural models, humans seemed to find strength in differences. Their societies were complex ecosystems of varied perspectives, cultural backgrounds, and individual experiences. The team discovered numerous examples of humans transcending individual and group limitations, stories of people overcoming personal challenges, communities supporting marginalized groups, and individuals dedicating their lives to solving complex global problems permeated their cultural archives. Conflict resolution transmissions showed another remarkable trait. Humans had developed sophisticated dialogue techniques, mediation processes, and collaborative problem-solving methods. They didn't just seek to eliminate conflicts, but to transform them into opportunities for mutual understanding and growth. Their artistic and cultural expressions explored complex emotional landscapes. Where most galactic civilizations had developed simplified emotional frameworks, humans demonstrated an extraordinary capacity for nuanced emotional experience. Their stories, films, and creative works explored the depths of individual and collective psychological complexity. They don't just survive, Zora noted in her final cultural analysis report. They continuously reimagine what survival means. The research team realized they were observing more than a cultural system. Humans represented a dynamic model of collective potential, a civilization that viewed challenges as opportunities for growth, creativity, and collective transformation. As the final cultural report was compiled, one central theme emerged. Humanity's true strength lay not in technological sophistication or biological capabilities, but in their extraordinary capacity to imagine, adapt, and create shared meaning. The Technology Research Division of the Galactic Exploration Consortium found themselves in a state of perpetual astonishment. Human technological development defied every established model of scientific progression. Where most advanced civilizations followed linear, carefully planned technological trajectories, humans seemed to innovate through a chaotic, almost organic process of creativity and necessity. Chief Research Analyst Zoran spread multiple holographic displays across the analysis chamber, each screen showing a different aspect of human technological achievement. The displays revealed a species that approached technological development as an art form, blending scientific precision with imaginative problem-solving. Medical technologies presented the first major point of fascination. Unlike the standardized, cybernetic enhancement approaches of most galactic civilizations, human medical innovations focused on understanding and supporting the body's natural capabilities. Prosthetic technologies weren't just replacements but adaptive systems that integrated with biological neural networks. Regenerative medicine approached healing as a collaborative process between technology and natural bodily processes. One particularly striking example involved a technology developed for individuals with mobility challenges. Instead of simply replacing lost function, these devices enhance human capability, allowing people to not just move, but to dance, create art, and push the boundaries of physical experience. The research team discovered numerous instances where technological innovation originated from addressing individual human needs. Environmental technologies revealed another layer of human creativity. Facing complex ecological challenges, humans developed solutions that worked in harmony with natural systems rather than attempting to dominate them. Renewable energy technologies weren't just about power generation, but about creating integrated ecological systems. Urban design technologies transformed cities into living, breathing ecosystems that supported both human needs and environmental sustainability. Communication technologies demonstrated an approach that prioritized connection over efficiency. where most galactic species had developed highly precise, mathematically structured communication protocols. Humans created networks that celebrated diversity of expression. Their internet was a chaotic, dynamic system that allowed for instant global communication, cultural exchange, and collective problem-solving. Space exploration technologies particularly fascinated the research team. Most advanced civilizations approached space exploration as a systematic, carefully controlled process. Humans, by contrast, seemed to view space as a frontier of collective imagination. Their early space missions combined scientific precision with almost poetic aspirations of exploration and discovery. "Look at this," Dr. Krull called out, expanding a holographic representation of early human space technologies. They sent primitive computing devices to explore planetary systems, not with the expectation of comprehensive data collection, but with a sense of wonder and possibility. Artificial intelligence development showed another unique approach, where most galactic civilizations viewed AI as a tool for optimization. Humans developed AI systems that emphasized ethical considerations, creative potential, and collaborative problem-solving. Their technological systems weren't just about efficiency, but about expanding the boundaries of collective intelligence. Material science revealed perhaps the most extraordinary innovations. Humans developed technologies that mimicked natural systems, materials that could self-repair, adapt to environmental conditions, and transform based on external stimuli. Their approach combined biological inspiration with advanced engineering principles. Energy technologies demonstrated a similar pattern of innovative thinking. Instead of pursuing a single, standardized approach, humans developed multiple complementary energy systems. Solar, wind, geothermal, and emerging technologies were not seen as competing systems, but as part of a complex, interconnected energy ecosystem. Manufacturing technologies showed a shift from mass production to adaptive, localized creation. 3D printing technologies allowed for unprecedented levels of customization and local production. Complex objects could be created with minimal resource consumption, challenging traditional manufacturing models. Agricultural technologies presented another fascinating area of innovation. Facing global food production challenges, humans developed systems that integrated technological precision with ecological understanding. Vertical farming, precision agriculture, and biotechnological approaches transformed food production from an industrial process to a sophisticated ecological interaction. The research team discovered that human technological innovation wasn't driven by a single motivation. It emerged from a complex interplay of scientific curiosity, individual creativity, collective problem-solving, and a fundamental belief in human potential. They don't just develop technology. Zoran noted in the final technological analysis report. They imagine new possibilities and then create the technologies to make those possibilities real. As the final report was compiled, one central theme emerged. Human technological innovation was less about creating tools and more about expanding the boundaries of what was possible. The Galactic Exploration Consortium had developed a comprehensive simulation designed to test the absolute limits of biological and technological adaptation. This challenge represented the most sophisticated assessment ever created, combining multiple layers of environmental, psychological, and physiological stress that would typically prove fatal to 99.9% of known sentient species. The simulation chamber stretched across multiple dimensional planes, a marvel of advanced technological engineering. Its internal environment could simulate extreme conditions beyond the comprehension of most known life forms. Radiation levels fluctuated at frequencies that would disintegrate cellular structures. Gravitational pressures shifted unpredictably, creating stress patterns that would crush most biological systems. Atmospheric composition changed rapidly, introducing toxic combinations of elements that defied standard survival protocols. Dr. Ksutul and the research team watched with a mixture of scientific curiosity and professional skepticism as the human response team prepared to enter the simulation. Most galactic species would have approached such a challenge with extensive technological augmentation. The humans, by contrast, arrived with a combination of advanced protective gear and an attitude that seemed almost impossibly optimistic. The team consisted of 6 individuals from diverse backgrounds: a medical researcher, an environmental engineer, a psychologist, a materials scientist, a communication specialist, and a former military strategic analyst. Their initial briefing demonstrated something immediately unusual. Instead of treating the challenge as an individual survival scenario, they approached it as a collective problem-solving exercise. As the simulation began, the environmental conditions became increasingly hostile. Radiation levels spiked to amounts that would instantly destroy most biological systems. Gravitational fluctuations created physical stress that would typically cause immediate systemic collapse. Atmospheric pressures changed with such rapid intensity that standard protective measures would become instantly obsolete. The human team's initial response defied all predictive models. Rather than focusing on individual survival, they began to create collective adaptive strategies. The medical researchers started developing real-time physiological monitoring systems that could predict and mitigate potential cellular damage. The environmental engineer began analyzing the simulation's environmental patterns, identifying potential areas of relative stability. Most remarkably, the team maintained constant communication. Their dialogue wasn't just about sharing information, but about maintaining psychological resilience. They shared observations, supported each other's emotional state, and continuously reframed the challenge as an opportunity for learning and adaptation. The materials scientists began developing adaptive protective mechanisms that could respond to changing environmental conditions. Using a combination of advanced materials science and creative problem-solving, she started creating protective layers that could modify their molecular structure in real time, responding to the simulation's changing parameters. Psychological resilience proved to be their most extraordinary adaptation mechanism. Where most species would experience complete mental breakdown under such extreme conditions, the human team maintained a level of focus and collaborative energy that seemed to defy fundamental understanding of psychological stress responses. The communication specialist began developing adaptive communication protocols that could maintain team cohesion despite the simulation's increasingly chaotic conditions. These protocols went beyond standard information exchange, creating a complex network of emotional support and collective problem-solving. As the simulation progressed, the research team watching the exercise became increasingly stunned. The humans weren't just surviving. They were systematically understanding and adapting to the challenge. They treated the hostile environment as a complex system to be understood rather than simply endured. 12 hours into the simulation, the human team had not only survived, but had begun to develop strategies for potential long-term adaptation. They had identified potential energy sources within the simulation's environment, developed communication mechanisms that could function under extreme conditions, and maintained a level of collective psychological stability that seemed impossible. Dr. Ksadel's research team found themselves rewriting fundamental scientific understanding with each passing moment. The humans demonstrated a capacity for adaptation that went far beyond biological or technological capabilities. They were showing an ability to transform challenges into opportunities for collective growth and understanding. As the simulation approached its critical point, the human team's response became a masterclass in collective resilience. They weren't just surviving. They were expanding the very understanding of what survival meant. This is not about enduring, the team's strategic analyst said during a moment of particularly intense environmental stress. This is about understanding and growing. The final report would challenge everything the Galactic Exploration Consortium understood about biological and technological adaptation. Humans had demonstrated something far more profound than survival. They had shown an extraordinary capacity for collective transformation. The Central Conference Chamber of the Galactic Exploration Consortium rarely experienced genuine shock. Composed of representatives from thousands of advanced civilizations, the consortium had witnessed countless evolutionary developments across multiple galaxies. Yet the comprehensive report on human capabilities created a stillness that felt almost unprecedented. Dr. Xadel's presentation illuminated holographic displays that transformed traditional understanding of sentient potential. Each data point challenged fundamental scientific models that had remained unchallenged for millennia. The simulation results were not just impressive. They represented a complete reimagining of biological and technological adaptation. Representatives from various galactic civilizations processed the information with different emotional responses. The crystalline species of Xylax Prime approached the data with clinical detachment. The energy-based life forms from the Nexus cluster analyzed the information through complex computational matrices. The empathic species of the Verdant Confederacy felt a profound resonance with the human approach to collective problem-solving. They are not just another species, Dr. Xedel explained, her research projections dancing across the holographic displays. Humans represent a dynamic model of evolutionary potential that defies our current scientific understanding. The research revealed multiple layers of extraordinary capabilities. Biological adaptation that went beyond genetic modification. Technological innovation that prioritized collective growth over individual efficiency. Psychological resilience that transformed challenges into opportunities for learning and development. Most striking was the human's approach to complexity. Where most advanced civilizations sought to simplify and control complex systems, humans seemed to find creativity and potential within chaos. Their scientific method was not just a research protocol, but a philosophical approach to understanding the universe. The consortium's historical archives were systematically re-examined. Previous encounters with emerging species had followed predictable patterns of development. Technological advancement would typically lead to environmental challenges, followed by either collective adaptation or societal collapse. Humans demonstrated a unique ability to simultaneously address multiple complex challenges. Environmental data showed their remarkable approach to planetary management. Instead of viewing their planet as a resource to be exploited, humans were developing technologies and social systems that worked in harmony with ecological systems. Their renewable energy technologies, sustainable agricultural practices, and ecosystem restoration projects suggested a fundamentally different relationship with their environment. Medical research revealed capabilities that challenged every established understanding of biological potential. Human bodies were not just adaptive. They were transformative systems that could modify themselves in response to challenges. Their immune systems, neural plasticity, and cellular regeneration capabilities suggested evolutionary potential far beyond standard models. Technological innovation presented another point of profound fascination. Where most galactic civilizations developed technologies through carefully controlled research protocols, humans seemed to innovate through a combination of scientific precision and creative imagination. Their approach combined rigorous scientific methodology with an almost artistic approach to problem-solving. Communication technologies demonstrated their most extraordinary capability. Unlike standardized galactic communication protocols, human networks celebrated diversity, creativity, and collective intelligence. Their internet was not just an information transfer system, but a dynamic platform for global collaboration and collective problem-solving. The psychological research was perhaps most revelatory. Human consciousness demonstrated a flexibility that went beyond individual or collective survival. They could transform trauma into creativity, find meaning in challenging circumstances, and maintain hope under conditions that would destroy most known species. "We are not observing a species," one senior researcher noted during the discussion. "We are witnessing a living model of collective potential." The implications extended far beyond scientific understanding. Humans represented a challenge to established models of evolutionary development, technological progression, and collective intelligence. They were not just another civilization to be categorized and studied. They were a fundamental reimagining of what sentient potential could mean. Some consortium members advocated for immediate isolation. The humans' unpredictability seemed potentially dangerous. Others saw an unprecedented opportunity for collaborative development. Their approach to complexity, their capacity for innovation, and their commitment to collective growth suggested potential far beyond traditional galactic models. Dr. Xadel's final recommendation captured the essence of their discovery. Humans are not a species to be understood. They are a phenomenon to be explored. As the conference concluded, one fundamental truth emerged. Humanity represented something more than a biological or technological system. They were a dynamic, living demonstration of collective potential, a civilization that could transform challenges into opportunities for growth, creativity, and collective understanding. The diplomatic chamber of the Galactic Conquests rarely experience such intense deliberations. Representatives from thousands of advanced civilizations gathered to address the most significant first contact scenario in recent galactic history. Humans had transitioned from a newly discovered species to a potential game-changing civilization in a remarkably short time. Ambassador Lyra Voss stood at the central platform, her multispectral translation device carefully calibrated to capture the nuanced communication styles of multiple species. The chamber itself was a marvel of adaptive architecture, capable of creating individual environmental zones for each participating civilization. The initial diplomatic transmissions from Earth had already appended traditional first contact protocols, where most emerging species approached galactic communication with deference or trepidation. Humans demonstrated a unique blend of curiosity, confidence, and collaborative spirit. Their initial communications were neither aggressive nor submissive. They were genuinely exploratory. The Xylaxian delegation presented the most comprehensive threat assessment. Their extensive research highlighted humans' extraordinary adaptive capabilities, technological innovation, and complex social structures. Some representatives argued for immediate quarantine, viewing humans as an unpredictable variable in the galactic ecosystem. They are not just another emerging species, argued Chief Diplomatic Analyst Krell. Their potential for rapid technological and social transformation could destabilize established galactic systems. The Verdant Confederacy took a dramatically different approach. Their empathic scientists saw humans as a potentially transformative force. They argued that humans represented a new model of collective intelligence, a civilization that could bring fresh perspectives to long-standing galactic challenges. Most fascinating was the humans' own diplomatic approach. Instead of sending traditional diplomatic representatives, they proposed a multi-dimensional exchange program. Their proposal included scientific collaborations, cultural exchanges, and open-source technology sharing. It was less a diplomatic mission and more an invitation to collective exploration. The communication protocols themselves challenged established diplomatic practices. Humans proposed communication systems that could bridge diverse cultural and biological perspectives. Their language translation technologies went beyond literal interpretation, capturing emotional nuances and cultural context. Environmental representatives found themselves particularly intrigued. Humans had developed technologies that could potentially address complex ecological challenges facing multiple galactic civilizations. Their approach to planetary management suggested solutions that worked in harmony with complex ecological systems. The Medical Research Consortium was equally fascinated. Human medical technologies suggested approaches to biological adaptation that could revolutionize healthcare across multiple species. Their regenerative medicine, adaptive prosthetic technologies, and holistic health approaches offered unprecedented possibilities. Some conservative galactic representatives viewed these proposals with deep suspicion. The Crystalline Confederation argued that such open exchange could compromise established technological and cultural boundaries. They proposed strict quarantine and controlled information exchange. The diplomatic challenge went beyond traditional first contact scenarios. Humans were not requesting membership in existing galactic systems. They were proposing a fundamentally different approach to interspecies collaboration. Most remarkable was the humans' response to potential diplomatic challenges. Instead of becoming defensive, they approached each concern with a combination of scientific curiosity and collaborative problem-solving. Their diplomatic communications included comprehensive research, potential solution frameworks, and genuine invitations for dialogue. The Nexus Cluster's communication specialists were particularly impressed by human communication technologies. Unlike standardized galactic protocols, Human communication networks celebrated diversity, encouraged creative problem-solving, and created platforms for genuine cross-cultural understanding. As deliberations continued, multiple diplomatic scenarios emerged. Some proposed limited cultural exchanges. Others suggested comprehensive collaborative frameworks. A minority still advocated for complete isolation, viewing humans as a potentially destabilizing force. The humans' own diplomatic team demonstrated an approach that defied traditional expectations. They didn't just present proposals, they invited collective reimagining of interspecies collaboration. Their communications suggested a civilization that saw diplomatic challenges as opportunities for mutual growth. Ambassador Voss's final summary captured the essence of the diplomatic dilemma. We are not deciding whether to engage with humans. We are deciding whether we are prepared for the level of transformation they represent. As the diplomatic session concluded, one fundamental truth emerged. Humans were not just another species seeking galactic recognition. They were a potential catalyst for a new model of interspecies collaboration, a civilization that could transform diplomatic challenges into opportunities for collective understanding. The final revelation came not through advanced technology, diplomatic negotiations, or scientific analysis. It emerged through a simple act of collective imagination that would reshape galactic understanding forever. Dr. Xetel sat in the observation chamber, reviewing decades of accumulated research on human civilization. The holographic displays flickered with thousands of data points, each representing a different aspect of human potential. Yet something fundamental remained just beyond comprehension. A transmission from Earth arrived, not an official diplomatic communication, but a collaborative project that defied every established model of interspecies interaction. It was a unified global initiative addressing multiple complex challenges simultaneously: environmental restoration, technological innovation, social equity, and collective problem-solving. The project demonstrated something far more profound than technological capability. It revealed a fundamental approach to existence that went beyond survival or advancement. Humans had created a comprehensive framework that viewed global challenges not as separate issues, but as interconnected opportunities for collective growth. Environmental technologies worked in harmony with social development programs. Educational initiatives integrated psychological support with scientific research. Economic models prioritized collective well-being over individual accumulation. Each system was designed not just to solve immediate challenges, but to create adaptive, evolving solutions. Most striking was the project's collaborative nature. It wasn't driven by a single government, corporation, or scientific institution. Instead, it emerged from a global network of individuals, communities, and organizations working together across traditional boundaries of geography, culture, and expertise. The Galactic Exploration Consortium watched in collective amazement. Where most advanced civilizations approached complex challenges through hierarchical, controlled systems, humans had developed a dynamic, adaptive approach that celebrated diversity and collective intelligence. Scientific research teams discovered something extraordinary. The project wasn't just solving immediate challenges, it was creating a living system of collective problem-solving. Each solution generated new insights. Each challenge became an opportunity for learning and growth. Psychological researchers found themselves rewriting fundamental understanding of collective consciousness. Humans had developed communication and collaboration mechanisms that transformed individual capabilities into collective potential. Their approach went beyond traditional models of cooperation, creating something that resembled a planetary-scale adaptive intelligence. Technological innovations emerged not from centralized research facilities, but from collaborative networks that crossed traditional boundaries. A community solution developed in a remote region could inspire technological breakthroughs on the other side of the planet. Individual creativity became a global resource. The economic models challenged every established understanding of resource management. Instead of competitive systems that prioritized individual accumulation, humans were developing collaborative frameworks that viewed resources as collective opportunities. Technological innovation, environmental restoration, and social development became interconnected systems. Educational initiatives demonstrated a similar approach. Learning was no longer confined to traditional institutions. Global online platforms created adaptive learning environments that could respond to individual and collective needs. Knowledge became a dynamic, shared resource that could transform individual potential into collective capability. Medical research showed how this approach translated into practical innovations. Healthcare systems were being transformed from reactive treatment models to proactive, holistic approaches that addressed individual and community well-being. Technological innovations worked in harmony with traditional healing practices, creating comprehensive approaches to health. Communication technologies revealed perhaps the most profound transformation. Humans had created global networks that celebrated diversity, encouraged creative problem-solving, and created platforms for genuine cross-cultural understanding. These were not just information transfer systems, but dynamic platforms for collective imagination. Dr. Xetal realized that humans represented something far more profound than a biological or technological system. They were a living demonstration of collective potential, a civilization that could transform challenges into opportunities for growth, creativity, and collective understanding. The final report to the Galactic Exploration Consortium captured this fundamental insight. Humans are not defined by what they are, but by their capacity to imagine what they could become. As the transmission concluded, something shifted in the collective understanding of sentient potential. Humans had demonstrated that the most profound evolutionary path was not through technological superiority or biological adaptation, but through the extraordinary capacity to imagine, collaborate, and continuously transform. The universe watched and waited, sensing that something fundamental had changed. Humanity had revealed that true potential was not about conquering challenges, but about creating new possibilities through collective imagination.